Hey everyone, I'm today with another video. This time it's going to be talking about how advice is not really one size fits all. It's kind of the big theme here, in the sense that when there's an event in game, so here we have boosted summons, um, you might ask, should I open now? Should I open my shards during a 2x? Does it matter? Should I wait at all? Should I just be opening shards whenever I get them? Questions like that. And the answer to all of those is maybe, right? Like it depends on your account and where you are in progression. And specifically, what you're looking for as well. So, in particular, the answer is easy for waiting between 2x and 10x if you're still like working on progressing in dungeons. So you're like, say, 16 or less in all of the dungeons. Then, and you're also in arena, you're less than gold, and in clan boss, like you're not quite to be able to do nightmare clan boss. So all of the areas of your account can be improved in some way. Then the answer is fairly easy that you would want to wait for 2x, because there's enough upgrades on your accounts from both epics and legendary champions that a 2x event for opening especially ancient shards is just going to give you a ton of value. So if you can wait for 2x, if your account's in that sort of stage for your ancient shards, definitely do that. In terms of sacred shards, it's a little murkier. That one, you probably still would want to wait for 2x because there are so many legendaries that make a big difference. But I'm not going to worry too much about sacred shards in this particular video. I'm kind of focused on ancients because you're going to get a lot more of those, regardless of if you're free to play or you're spending a lot of money. So that's the easy part of the question, right? So if you're earlier on in the game, you probably want to be saving for 2x, and it's really not a difficult decision because you do need a ton of different epics would help you out, and a ton of different legendaries would help you out in basically every aspect of the game. Now, let's say you're a little bit further than that, right? So if you've got most of the roles filled, so like you've got like a tank for the different dungeons, or even multiple tanks, and you have like a turn meter booster, and you've got most of the important buffs and even debuffs, there's a good chance you still want to open it to 2x if you can upgrade those positions, like in a meaningful way. So if, say, your defense down is War Maiden, then there are plenty of epics that you could get, like Stag Knight or Tayrel, for instance, that bring more utility than just defense down. So opening for the 2x is going to help you out more, because not only do you have a chance at some of the legendaries, but there are a lot of epics that can help you out in a lot of different areas. So the question then becomes, what if you're no longer really looking for many, if any, epics, and you're more focused on legendaries? Okay, well, then the question comes down to, how many legendaries are you happy with opening? Right, so like not just would upgrade your account, but would upgrade them enough that you're actively seeking them, and you would be very, very happy to see them if you open them in a shard. So just to give an example, let's look at my main account for the moment. So I have 2 fused legendaries. These 2 legendaries that I've opened in shards, so these are the 4 that I use in my main teams. Then I have another Rosin, a Fushan, and a Lugan over here that I've just leveled up to 50. And then I've also got Ghostborn down here that I opened in a shard and working on getting to 50 to possibly use somewhere. So I have 8 legendaries, so not a tremendous number because there's a very large number of legendaries, but it's a good number, and they can fill multiple roles, so it's been very helpful for me. But since I do have most of the epics, that's not really what I end up opening shards for. It is now at the point where I'm opening shards looking for specifically to get legendaries. So how do I decide between saving, again, especially my ancient shards, for a 2 times versus opening them in a 10 times? And to do that, we need to really stop and think and do a little bit of analysis. And for that, my preferred way is to use Excel. So I have a spreadsheet here where all I've done is I've gone to Ayumilove and I've pulled all of the legendaries by affinity. And I'll put Ayumilove in the description if you're not familiar with the site. The site's something very, very useful and you should check it out at some point. But what I've done is I have 2 different numbers for champions that I'm looking for. So what I did is I went through every single non-void legendary and I put a 1 next to it if I think getting that legendary would make a difference enough in my account that I would 100% power it up and use it in one of my teams. So for me, I'm already to the point where I can 2-key Nightmare. So I'm mostly just working on getting gear to move into Ultra Nightmare. I can farm medals in Gold 2 and Gold 3, and all of the dungeons except Spider I can farm stage 20 easily. So realistically, the champions that I'm looking for either do something unique that you can't really do with other champions, like Bad L is a good example near the top of this list, or they help me in the area that I'm looking to progress in, so like Drexthar for Spider. So those are kind of, most of the champions fill into one of those 2 categories. Either they would help my clan boss team or my Spider team, or they are just unique in the sense that they would help my account in a bunch of different ways and do things that can't be really replaced with epics. As actually, just to clarify, there is 1 epic that I'm looking for. It is, however, Sepulcher, so since it's in the 10 times, that doesn't really influence my decision at all for whether 10 or 2 times would be worth going for. So when you look at this, it says wanted and the number 17 next to it. So that means there are 17 unique legendaries that I am actively looking for and would help me immediately in my progression. Or again, are just really cool champions that I want to own. The number below it, so it's wanted 10 times, that is 35. And that number is the sum of all the champions I want, plus 9 extra of any of the champions that are 10 times. Because that's how, it is my understanding that that's how the probabilities work, is that Plarium just, for instance, Altan is in 10 times this week, so they put 9 more Altan into the pool whenever you open a legendary. So both Altan and Ignatius are champions that I actively want from the 10 times this weekend. So that's 9 for each of those, and I add 18 and I get up to 35. So now we have these 2 numbers and we need to figure out what we want to do with them. Now, we see, obviously, 35 is more than twice 17. So during this 10 times, I am twice as likely, if I get a legendary, to get one that either will help me immediately in progression or is just something I want because it's cool. Okay, so that means I am twice as likely, if I open a legendary, of getting something I want versus a 2 times. Now 2 times, it is twice as likely to get a legendary. So we would say, oh, okay, well, it's basically even, right? Like we've got twice as high to get a legendary, but half the chance to get one that we really want. And the thing that I would say about that is, in general, that's true. However, for this 10 times, it's weighted so heavy for me towards opening because Altan helps me in one of the 2 areas that I really want to progress, Clan Boss, and Ignatius helps me in the other area that I really want to progress, being Spider. So they're not one of the champions that are just like, this would be cool for me to have. It is, these are champions that actively help me progress and would help me move forward in the Arbiter missions. And I'm at a point now that the Arbiter missions are something I really do need to pay attention to, because as soon as I get enough medals from PvP, then my Great Hall is what's going to be slowing me down a bit. So as soon as I get the medals in the Great Hall to be able to level that up, then that's when I'll basically be done with Arbiter, because I'm working on getting my second level 6 at the moment. Now, to me then, it's not just that it's twice as high where to say, well, it's even. It's actually much, much better for me to open this weekend for my Ancients than it is, and even my Sacreds as well, obviously, than it is to wait for a 2 times. But the whole point is that it is incredibly account dependent. So it's not just, oh, hey, one of the 10 times champions is a champion I really want, I'm going to open them. You need to see how many other champions do you really want, and how likely are you to actually get it versus, getting something you don't want this weekend or in a 2 times weekend. So I thought that was something that was worth talking about because, again, this isn't me telling you, yes, you should open this weekend or no. This is me trying to give you the tools you need to figure out when you should open your shards in general. And if a 2 times comes up that you happen to like, then you have the ability to actually do some analysis and figure out, yes, this is a good idea, or no, this is not a good idea for me to open. So hopefully some of you guys found this useful today. Let me know in the comments below if you did. If you think there's something I did wrong, please also let me know as well. I love constructive criticism. You can do that either the comments on YouTube, Reddit, on Discord, or talking to me just live in Twitch. Both the links for Twitch and Discord are below, and I stream every single night at the daily reset. And tonight it'll be Saturday where I play my main, so this account, for quite a while, and I hope to see you guys then. Thank you.